Chapter 64-65. Above the sea near Holy Empire. Testarossa is currently engaged in battle with the hero Cronoa. They were moving so fast that in few minutes they have covered the entire country and reached the ocean. Their battle was so fearsome that the land they have passed through has been completely destroyed, lakes have evaporated, mountain has been broken in half. Testarossa didn't reduce the damage because she have to completely focus on her opponent, otherwise she would lose instantly. After all, it was the hero who sealed the storm dragon Veldora. Even if it has no control, it was very dangerous opponent. Testarossa has deliberately made her come here to reduce the danger. Testarossa has evolved into a true demon lord, has been more powerful than any warriors fighting in Lubrius, but the difference between her and Cronoa is massive. In fact, even in this berserk form, Cronoa's skills are top-notch. Her sword skills are among the best in the world, and rather than just spamming attacks, she was very efficient and targeted her weak spots. This is bad. Her each strikes are becoming more and more heavier. Eventually I won't be able to handle her attacks. So this is the power of hero who sealed Veldora-sama. They are clashing their swords, and the impact from their clash was so strong that even a greater Majins will instantly die from the shockwaves. Testarossa was giving her best to fight the berserk hero. Her attack was very strong. Even Veldora will be injured by her attacks. Her regular slashes were more powerful than Hinata's melt slash. They were fighting in mesosphere around 50,000 meters to 80,000 meters above ground, and still the ocean below them started to evaporate. Testarossa was getting overwhelmed when help arrived. Testarossa, leave her to me, go help Luminous. I can handle her. It was her master Rimuru. He blocked Cronoa's sword with his own. Testarossa quickly left the situation to Rimuru and went towards Lubrius. So let's see how strong the hero Cronoa, who once sealed Veldora, is. Quote, as Rimuru and Cronoa clashed in the sky, he saw Luminous coming towards them. He heard her say something through telepathy. Rimuru Pav. In that instant, as Luminous and I crossed eyes, she sent a strong telepathic message to me. Let me explain this for you first. Cronoa is another personality of Chloe. Hinata's soul may be resting inside her too, so you must not kill her. Greater than. What? Compared to the strength of her telepathy, the message she delivered was far more shocking. How could you say something so important at a dire time like this so casually? Luminous, right after dumping responsibility onto me, headed back to take on Granbell. I didn't know what to do now that I had been informed of the truth so suddenly. Cronoa was Chloe. Now that she mentioned it, they looked quite similar. But what was the thing about Hinata's soul? I didn't know what to take from that. What in the world is happening there? Less than report. Considering all possibilities, it could be deduced that Cronoa and Chloe are the same person. Greater than, and that means, less than, in other words, individual, Chloe Aubert, likely time leapt to the past and grew to be the Cronoa in front of you now. Greater than, no way, no. Is that even possible? I could just ask Luminous, but she was busy fighting to the death against Granbell. So I couldn't just have a Q&A. Even her telepathy was only just sent in the nick of time. Speaking of time leaps, is it like time travel or a time slip? I don't think she can control it freely, so I suppose it's more like sliding in and out of time. Less than answer. Assuming the phenomenon occurred at that time was a time leap, then it is impossible to observe all elements of the event. Without authority to interfere with time, it is naturally unobservable. Greater than, I suppose. After all, even if you know the concept of time, observing time itself is impossible. Actually, hold on, I didn't have to understand any of this. If I just accepted that it was possible, then so many things suddenly made sense. When I was trying to help the young Chloe, the thing we summoned must have been from the future. If something happened to the future Chloe, and the spiritual part of Cronoa was sent to the past. Less than correct. This possibility is extremely high. Greater than, I see. Chloe had definitely leapt through time, that was for sure. Then how to explain the situation right now? Report. The same soul cannot exist in two places in the same space-time. Thus, they reacted to each other, causing one of the two to disappear. However, the crucial factor is that individual, Luminous Valentine, utilized a Holy Spirit power, barrier, Holy Arc, to seal the soul. Therefore, Chloe and Hinata's souls may all be sleeping inside Cronoa's body. If the power of the Holy Arc really surpassed the ability of Chloe's time leap, I had no choice but to believe it now. If what Luminous said is true, then there is only one way to deal with this situation. Less than this method would be to maintain physical contact with your target and use that to enter her spiritual plane. And then, in allowing your astral bodies to interact with each other, you can directly interfere with her soul. Greater than. I instantly placed the mask. As I placed the mask on Chronoa's face, my consciousness faded to black. As she watched Rimuru place the mask on Chronoa's face, Luminos couldn't help but think, did he succeed? It was a gambit. Chloe and Hinata had placed their trust in Rimuru, and so would Luminos put all the hope in him. The two had mentioned Rimuru to her a long time ago. Luminos had decided to feign ignorance, whilst keeping a close eye on him. When she discussed it with Hinata, she even pretended to know nothing. In front of me, stood a Bishoujo. It was Chronoa. Her eyes were flooded with hatred. It was terrifying. It really looked like she wanted to destroy the world. First, I wanted to talk to her. Hopefully she would listen, but as I was about to speak, something unexpected happened. You are Rimuru. Is this real? Is it Rimuru himself? This reaction was rather surprising. I thought she would be more hostile towards me. Why yeah, Rimuru-san here. Confirming that it was me, Chronoa stepped forward to hug me. The Bishoujo was hugging me. It was pretty nice. Was it okay for us to act all lovey-dovey like this now? People were fighting intensely outside, but here I was feeling really happy. Well, are you Chronoa? Now that we were with each other face to face, I started to suspect that Chronoa was how Chloe would look after growing up. They were very similar. Yes, I am Chronoa. I am a personification of evil trapped inside Chloe. I am also her alternate personality. If Hinata never named me, I probably wouldn't have become self-aware as a separate personality. I see. I still hadn't really computed the situation just yet, but it seemed that the situation was a lot more complicated than I originally thought. Then your goal is, if she wanted to destroy the world, I had to do my best to stop her. But since she was Chloe's alternate, maybe I could figure out a way to call Chloe back and switch them, which was why I had to ask her. However, it's all okay now. Because Rimuru is safe and sound, Chronoa asserted calmly. She didn't seem to have any other conviction. What do you mean I'm safe and sound? Please don't say something so ominous. I had safely pulled through many dangerous situations in the past. So now, I didn't want any more trouble like that again. With Chronoa finally calming down, I moved on to the important questions. Then, do you know where Chloe is, and is Hinata with her? Even though I was getting impatient, I still needed to be careful. If I got on Chronoa's bad side, she probably wouldn't tell me anything. But it seemed that I was worrying for nothing. She is lost in the infinite prison, deep inside my heart. In the past, I was the one trapped there. But as times changed and two of the same existence appeared, we switched places. And so, she told me everything. It seemed that Chronoa cherished Chloe a lot too. She seemed to think that Chloe was indeed the main personality while she herself was the supporting alter. I believed her. Upon thinking so, I asked my next question. What about Hinata? Hinata, she's already dead, Chronoa said. Her answer made me freeze. How can that be? Luminos said that Hinata traveled back in time with Chloe. In that way, Hinata should be fine. You are mistaken, Rimuru. Hinata has already died here. Garash's attack extinguished souls. They were able to leap back in time together because Chloe absorbed Hinata's soul. But Hinata alone would not be able to withstand the time leap. But, I thought, Luminos said she spoke to her as well. Moreover, wasn't Hinata the one who gave the name Chronoa? Wouldn't that mean, only Hinata's consciousness was left from the residue of her soul? Since it was stored inside Hinata's unique skill, I couldn't absorb Hinata's mathematician. If I did that, Hinata's consciousness would disappear too. Seeing how sad Chronoa was as she answered, I knew she wasn't lying. But, hold on, her skill was born from her soul, and Hinata used it to preserve her consciousness, right? If so, if I put her skill back into her body, wouldn't that revive her from the dead? I know what Rimuru is thinking. Chloe had the same idea in the past too. But it didn't work. Didn't I say this before? The remnants of Hinata's soul are also trapped in the infinite prison. It's a chaotic void, where everything mixes together. As someone who was born there, I can tell you that Hinata's mathematician is probably integrated in that void already. It was different for someone like Veldora, who had a sizable ego and immense energy. But for Hinata, even if she became a saint, she was still human. There was no way she could survive in the infinite prison. Hinata's body was outside. As long as the soul was all right, she could be revived. Chronoa sighed and I felt depressed. The unsettling feeling on my mind gradually dissipated. It was better to grieve after we had confirmed the result. Indeed, you have a point. Chronoa, I want to save Chloe and Hinata from infinite prison. Is there a way to do that? Now that I've calmed down, I think I can feel the aura of the other me, Chloe. But it's gonna be difficult trying to deactivate infinite prison. I'm not sure myself, but my body might disintegrate if I do that. This was because she had locked up her enormous energy reserves in the infinite prison. I almost forgot to mention this, but it was actually Chronoa here who controlled the young Chloe's power. If the amount of energy unleashed was strong enough to rival Veldora's, Chloe's body would be obliterated. Moreover, we still couldn't confirm whether Hinata's soul was inside or not. Then could you give me the authority? So I could interfere, I asked her. I get it, then I'll transfer the authority to you. The other, Chloe, agreed too. We will have Rimuru do as you wish. As I worried about what to do, Chronoa suddenly made an unexpected proposal. An information particle was a substance smaller than even spiritrons, and was close to having no mass at all. All matter in the world had to contain information particles. Even though they only existed in my stomach and Chronoa's infinite prison, these information particles could be observed. Now with the access granted by the owner of the infinite prison, Seal obtained the freedom to exercise its authority over it. Less than report. Access granted. Interference will begin greater than less than complete. Unique skills, infinite prison, absolute severance, and usurper, have been combined along with a large sacrifice of magical to evolve into an ultimate skill greater than. Chloe, Chronoa, their power evolved to ultimate skill, Spacetime King Yog Sothoth. Moreover, even the discarnate entity Chronoa, which was originally the other personality of Chloe, went through the upgrade to become an information particle entity called Manas, which gave her the authority to manage skills and ability to switch with Chloe at any time. Rimuru is always so reckless, but I love Rimuru for it. Not only did Chronoa hug me, she kissed my right cheek. Moreover, Chronoa, how can you cut in line before me like that? I felt a soft touch from the other side too. Just like Chronoa, Chloe came to hug and kiss me. Chloe was also in her adult form. Chronoa and Chloe had the exact same appearance, like twins. They were incredibly beautiful. The mind's imagination is the best. Even though the fact that this wasn't reality was a bit saddening, it was still very nice to be sandwiched between two beauties. I began to get immersed in my lewd fantasies. Someone else was there too. Looks like you're having fun, Rimuru. You're enjoying yourself so much that you didn't even check if I revived or not. It was Hinata. She was right, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I gave a couple dry coughs with my face flustered. A- as expected from Hinata-san, you are just as pretty as before. Should I compliment her like that to start a conversation? I would say that, but I had seen her earlier. But I suppose it was always good to praise a woman. As expected, spare me the flattery. Ah, yes ma'am, she saw through me immediately. But I still had something to say first. That said, while it's strange to say that I'm glad you're okay, I am truly happy to reunite with Hinata under these circumstances. That was genuine, thank you, Hinata said. Her cheeks were a bit red. How long do you guys plan to hug him? With Hinata's interjection, I realized that Chloe and Chronoa were still clinging on to me. But I want to hug Rimuru a bit more. That's right, Hinata, I haven't seen him in 2,000 years, let me hug him a bit more too. Saying something like that could be easily misunderstood, you know. I wasn't doing anything, but Chloe and Chronoa had buried themselves in my slime body, that's all. Hinata was probably more anxious than me, so I needed to stay calm. Just count on me, Hinata. I'll get you out in no time, I declared. Words had power. I must succeed. With this resolve, I left the mindscape. Back in the real world, I was still in my human form. My posture hadn't changed at all, and it looked like I hadn't moved one bit. I stretched and cheered myself up. Let's see where Hinata's body is. I found it completely uninjured after being healed by Luminosa's magic. She was lying next to the fallen Chronoa. Ah, there was a hole open near Hinata's chest area. I pulled out my backup coat and put it on her. This was the kind of charm you could expect from a mature adult who knew when to show tenderness. I don't want to get glared at again either, but I'd hide that thought inside my heart. The key was resurrection magic, but it would be difficult for me to perform it alone. Even though her consciousness had re-emerged through mathematician, which was also Hinata herself, it was still inside Chloe's space-time King Yog-Sothoth. Whilst merging with the skill saved her from vanishing, separating them would be difficult. I had to prepare the energy to replace her and switch out the two while simultaneously applying resurrection magic in order to rescue her. In order to do that, I'd need that gal's help. I called out, "Please help me revive Hinata, Luminos. I am going to interfere with Chloe's infinite prison. You take the chance and extract Hinata's soul. If there isn't enough energy, don't worry about that, I will figure something out." Wonderful. Luminos was indeed super capable. And so, I got to work quickly. I held out my hand above Chronoa's prone position on the ground and pointed out the location of Hinata's soul to Luminos. She was getting on fast and began to perform some sort of interference. As opposed to magic, skills were more useful in these times. Rebirth. Luminos activated her ability. As I watched, I realized something. Luminos was activating some super high-level skill that I couldn't learn. My guess was right. Although, since it was Luminos, I shouldn't be surprised. I could rest assured with the matter in her hands. The limp Chronoa and Hinata's corpse lay side by side. Fragments of Hinata's soul merged with Chloe's soul and were compiled into the unique skill, Mathematician. Luminos used her power to grasp Hinata's soul that I'd managed to separate using isolation. In its place, she was carefully injecting a high concentration of energy to replace what she was extracting. The energy injected was far greater than what was being extracted, but it was likely a necessary procedure. I watched as she reached out her hand to Hinata's corpse instead this time. Luminos's power was returning Hinata's soul to her body. Her hair regained luster, her cheeks reddened, and her heart began to beat once more. The next moment, Hinata opened her eyes and coughed. There were no anomalies inside her body, however. It worked. Hinata had been successfully resurrected. And there was Chronoa too. With the abnormal presence of Hinata removed, she recovered to her complete self. While her soul was already very beautiful before, Chloe's soul right now shone with an inhumanly divine light. It was far beyond the beauty of a normal human soul. She opened her eyes. Will it be Chloe or Chronoa? Rimuru-san. That reaction sounded like Chloe. Although she used to call me Sensei, for some reason, she began to call me San. Still, it sounded like Chloe. She darted over to me. I hugged her gently. She has really changed from her childhood appearance. She's gotten a lot more feminine. How strange. I got a much smaller armful of Chloe than I expected. With a closer look, I found that Chloe had turned back into a child. She was wearing a black, form-fitting suit, likely the result of Holy Spirit armor. That was quite fortunate. I did feel a little disappointed, but I'd keep that to myself. The others saw me hugging this little girl. This could easily be misunderstood as me committing a crime. Hinata's glare was sharp. After sensing the danger of Chaos Dragon, Diablo confronted it. Its massive body was bigger than Charbitas and its magicals is comparable to true dragons. Diablo has evolved into a Devil Lord and his EP surpasses 10 million, but the gap between them are more than 3 times. While it would have been easy for Diablo to destroy it using his full power, he couldn't do that as Rimuru has ordered him to not destroy it. He has to not only fight it but all maintain the destruction to minimum. He decided to guide it towards the Great Desert away from the people. He fired a nuclear cannon at the beast to grab its attention. That attack was nullified due to anti-skill properties of Chaos Dragon, but he was successful in getting its attention. Dragon followed him into barren lands. Now I can freely use my powers without any worry of surrounding area. Testa and others can handle the remaining trash. He summoned his god-grade scissors and claws. Since magical attacks are useless against it, he used combination of magic and skill to harm it. Chaos Dragon main attacks were his Chaos Breath, capable of damaging even spiritual body. Diablo escaped the attack without any damage, but mountain behind him was reduced to ashes. I have learned this technique from Rimuru-sama. Let's see how it work against you. Diablo set up multiple invisible magic circles right under Chaos Dragon while attacking him with claws. Activate. Light binding. Magic circles started to glow and multiple chains covered in light started to trap Chaos Dragon. Diablo has set up multiple disintegration and used its spirit and particles to strengthen the legendary grade chains made through material creation. He strengthened the chains with spirit and particles, making it durable enough to momentarily stop the rampaging dragon. Gravity collapse. Usually it creates a localized gravitational field disruption, resulting in a field of supergravity which quickly compresses all the energy in the area into a single point, effectively creating an artificial black hole. Then, the flow of energy reverses, exploding outwards in something resembling a supernova. But Diablo has used imaginary supply instead to magicules. Even the dragon won't be unscratched in front of this attack. It was 10 times more powerful than normal gravity collapse, and had Rimuru been here he would have scolded him for using such dangerous attack in Cardinal World. The attack quickly covered the entire dragon, its magicules started to deplete rapidly. But this attack was not only limited to the magic circle, imaginary supply was more powerful than Diablo calculated, and it reduces multiple mountains into ashes. After the dust settled, a massive crater was on the ground. Had Diablo not specified the range, it would have destroyed the world. Even Diablo decided not to use this power unless necessary. Chaos Dragon has lost almost 70% of its energy, but it was still not going down. It started collecting magicules from its surrounding. Because of the large amount magicules present in the environment, it recovers most of its depleted energy. TCH. This is the problem. I can't kill it and it can recover from any non-fatal attacks. Maybe I should contact Rimuru-sama. Hello Rimuru-sama. This Chaos Dragon can easily refill its depleting magicules from nature. Half-baked attacks won't do anything to it. What should I do with it? Closing square bracket. Oh Diablo. I have a solution. You distract it for few minutes, I am coming. We can't kill it, it's a gift from Veldanova Nisan to Milam, she will be very sad. Handle it until I arrive, okay. Closing square bracket. As you wish Rimuru-sama. Closing square bracket. Chaos Dragon also started using other attacks. Since it has control over all 5 elements, it created a massive whirlpool of fire and surrounded Diablo. Temperature inside the storm reaches hundreds of thousand degrees Celsius. Kekeki. It wants to trap me inside this storm. But too bad, you are very naive to think it can stop me. Diablo punched a hole through the firestorm and blew the storm using wind magic. Rimuru arrived at the battlefield. He saw the massive dragon fighting Diablo. Although Chaos Dragon has much more energy than him, Diablo, he had the upper hand in this bout. He was easily avoiding its attack while continuously dealing damage on it. Rimuru-sama, you came. So how should we deal with this? I think the best way to deal with it is either to seal it back or permanently kill this thing. He responded. Don't worry, I have a plan. Listen to me now. This dragon must have a core. Use your precision attacks to knock out the rest of its body until only the core is left. The astral body and spiritual body that were responsible for protecting the Chaos Dragon's soul had been completely corrupted. Actually, it was the opposite case. It was because of the damage both bodies had suffered that led to it being corrupted by hatred to this extent. Then it's time for me to show the result of my training. End of World Requiem is the ultimate illusionary elemental catastrophe magic, which reproduces the collapse of the world and causes localized destruction. It is a combination of skill, art, and magic, and needless to say, it was Diablo's original and the most powerful attack. It quickly destroyed the astral body of the dragon and it was about to destroy its core. Activate God of Void Azathoth. Rimuru successfully obtained the Chaos Dragon's broken core. As the core that managed its enormous magical content disappeared, the Chaos Dragon began to collapse. He also devoured the carcass of the dragon. Rimuru needed to pick up every single shred of its broken core and put them in the emulated soul. Before that, he utilized Devour Soul to combine the shreds. Your name will be Gaia. This time don't make your friend sad, okay? Rimuru patted it. Emulated soul began to glow lightly. It succeeded. The soul now had a core. Rimuru used a master core to cover Gaia's emulated soul. And there, the avatar core was completed. It was still like an egg, but given time it will hatch. Then this problem is done. Diablo, you handle these small fry. Testarossa is also here, so I think you two could handle this situation. I think it's all just a distraction. They are trying to lure me out. I should return to Tempest soon. Well then, take care. Quote, don't worry Rimuru-sama, we are more than enough to handle them. You return to Tempest without any worry. Rimuru immediately teleported back to Tempest. Well then, what we have here? Isn't that Phantom King? What is he doing here? Diablo saw a familiar presence and went to intercept him. Oh my, if it's Phantom King Feldway. What are you doing here in Cardinal World? Don't tell me you were behind this whole ordeal. No, it can't be. You can't come up with such elaborated plan. After all, you are a simple-minded person. Diablo mocked Feldway, who was trying to break the Great Wall. You are as annoying as ever, Kuro, always nuisance in my plan. If not for you, our phantom race could have easily evaded the cardinal world. Do you want to fight me? I don't have much time for this, but if you want to face a defeat for first time, you are welcome. They are already here, so I can play with you. Feldway answered, irritated as he fired an energy blast at Long Wall. Now I have a name, it's Diablo, given to me by my master Rimuru-sama. Defeat. How amusing. I also want to test these new powers against someone. It would be fun to see how much challenge I can give you now in material world. So you became a servant. One of 7 original demons is now serving a demon lord. How low have your standard fallen? Look at me, I am the loyal servant of Great Star King Dragon Veldanava-sama, not some puny demon lord. Feldway tried to anger Diablo, but he was very surprised by his behavior. He didn't think he would be this angered. So you have chosen death, you bastard. Diablo's friendly smile vanished and his aura became more intense. He opened the gate of imaginary supply and gathered it around his body. Interesting, so even his subordinates can use nihility. Then you will be great addition to my world. Quote, mirror world, now all of you will remain inside my creation. Before Diablo could react, he was sucked into a mirror dimension. It was not only him but entire of Lubrius together with its people are trapped inside it. What happened? I was talking to Feldway, then suddenly I am trapped here. Who was that person? I didn't even notice her. As he was indulged in his thoughts, Testarossa and Luminous approached him. Diablo, what happened? Where are we? It looks like real world, but something feels off. Testarossa asked him. I don't know. I was talking to Phantom King when I heard a female voice and then suddenly we are here. I heard her talking mirror world. Did you try to break the dimension? He asked as he fired his nihility attack, but it could not destroy the dimension. We tried to destroy it, even use space-time domination, but it looks like real world. I can freely move to another worlds, but there was nothing. I even went to hell, but it was completely empty. It looks like we are only ones here. Testarossa answered him. The enemies we were fighting didn't came here. Whoever teleported us here is quite skilled, we couldn't even notice it. It looks like all people of Lubrius are also teleported here. Luminous replied to them. As they were discussing among themselves, they heard a voice and an Skya image appeared. Nice to meet you all, I am Isis and welcome to my mirror world. It's been long time since so many visitors have arrived. One thing first, it's no use trying to escape from this world. You can't destroy it nor can you escape it, but don't worry, there is everything available in this world from hell to heavens. A young woman appear in the sky. Isis possesses black hair with 2 buns and green eyes. She wears a pair of glasses and keeps her full figure concealed by black dress lined with red fur and wears black gloves on both of her hands. The dress also possesses a long slit cut out for her leg which reveals knee-length black and white vertically stripped knee socks. A large knot with white stripes is present below her large cleavage that joins the red fur and the slit cut out for her legs. Outside the mirror dimension, Dagruel and his Titan army reached the royal capital of Lubrius. They were greeted by Phantom King Feldway. It's been long time we meet each other, my friend. Fen greeted his friends. So what happened to Luminous and others? There are no one here. Did you kill them? I wanted to get revenge on her for killing my best friend myself. Dagruel asked him about the situation. There was no one aside from their allies, all structures were fine but people were missing. Even if Feldway did kill them, there must have been some destruction. It's like all people simply disappeared. I didn't do anything. It is work of one of our allies, Isis. She trapped every single being present in Lubrius in some sort of mirror dimension. I don't know the detail, but I think it is some sort of skill. Feldway earnestly answered. What? She trapped them all? Are you serious? Even if Luminous is weaker than us, she is much stronger than your average awakened beings. What sort of monster is that, Isis? Feldway nodded to Dagruel's question positively. Not just Luminous, she also trapped 2 awakened primordials, Noir and Blanc there. That person is really a monster to have such strong beings under its command. I don't think even I could escape that spell. We are really lucky to have them in our side. Quote, primordials too. That person is really dangerous to have not just 1 but 2 beings on our level as its subordinates. Can we really trust them? Dagruel expressed his worries. Well, we can't do anything against them anyway. They are not just stop but also very clever. It looks like they know everything about not just us but our opponents as well. They are aware of our strength and weaknesses while we don't really know anything about them. Thanks to them we are successful in capturing some key players from enemy's side. And you also got control over Lubrius. Feldway expressed his honest thoughts. This feels very empty victory. We got the lands but without defeating Luminous. Dagruel said. You will get plenty opportunity to fight the enemies. Demon Lord Rimuru and Guy won't sit idly. Prepare your force and be ready for counterattack. Our work is not done yet, it only got started. Also, I am taking Dino with me. You already have your army, and Hero Granbell and his forces will also be here for help. After discussing with Dagruel, Feldway together with other original angels Pico, Garasha and Dino left. Nice to meet you, Demon Lord Dagruel. It's my first time seeing you in person. It's my pleasure to make you an acquaintance in this mission. I am Granbell Rosso, head of Rossos. Granbell greeted Dagruel. Together with him was his granddaughter Mariabel. And she is my granddaughter Mariabel Rosso. Oh, you were subordinate of Luminous Right. You have greatly helped us acquire this land. You have my thanks. Quote, there is no need for such words. Our goals are same, and that is defeat of Demon Lord Luminous Valentine and rule this world. Quote, I thought you would be against our invasion since this is the land you built, but I was mistaken. Since our enemies are same, we must work together. We can discuss our difference after this war is over. Our main motive is to rule the economy of the world. You can be the emperor, we don't mind unless you entire our territory. Quote, we don't have any interest in things like money. You can control your human society as you like and rule over economic aspect. Dagruel and Granbell expressed their desires and interests so that in future they don't clash against each other. Dagruel has no interest in such things. He only wants land for his people, which he already got, and he can left humans for Rosso family to handle. He doesn't want to deal with such nuisance. Both parties reach a common ground and establish their new base in Lubrius, anticipating counterattack from Demon Lord Rimuru. To be continued.